Singapore, a businessman tried to leave after a traffic accident involving two cars along Old Airport Road, and drove rashly when a motorist stood in front of his car to prevent him from leaving. Edward Low Tycoon drove his car forward, causing the victim to jump onto the bonnet of his car. Low then continued driving in a zigzag manner for 100 to 200 m while the victim was still on his bonnet, a court heard. On Wednesday, December 13, Low, 49, was jailed for 8 weeks, fined $600 and banned from driving for 2 years on 4 charges. He had claimed trial to 3 of the charges, driving so rashly as to be likely to cause hurt to Mr. Edwin Han Yong Mong, 52, failing to render assistance after injury was caused to Mr. Heng, and failing to stop after the accident at around 8:20 p.m. on June 2, 2014. He was convicted by District Judge Ong Chin Ru on October 30 after a 7-day trial. Low had pleaded guilty to driving without due care and attention, by failing to keep a proper lookout ahead, thus hitting Mr. Heng's car. Giving details of the accident, Assistant Public Prosecutor Andrew Low said on the night of June 2, Mr. Heng and another motorist, Mr. Po Chin Aik, 42, were driving along Old Airport Road towards Ju Chiat Road when they stopped at the traffic red lights near the Dunman Road junction. Mr. Heng's car was behind Mr. Po's. Suddenly, Low's car rammed into the back of Mr. Heng's vehicle, causing it to surge forward and hit Mr. Po's car. The impact threw Mr. Heng forward against his seat belt before he recoiled and hit his headrest. He was disorientated, felt pain at the back of his head and had difficulty breathing. Mr. Heng was given 3 days of medical leave. Mr. Po, whose spectacles fell off, suffered numbness in his right hand. His wife, who sat in front, suffered chest pains. Low tried to drive away but Mr. Heng stood in front of his car to stop him. Low claimed to have had just a can of beer before the accident. He denied driving rashly. Convicting him last month, Judge Ong said she did not find his evidence or explanations for his manner of driving convincing. She said his manner of driving gave the couple the distinct impression that Low was trying to throw Mr. Heng off his bonnet. Low, represented by Mr. T.M. Sinajure, could have been jailed for up to 1 year and or fined up to $5,000 for rash driving likely to cause hurt to any person. The maximum penalty for driving without due care and attention is a $1,000 fine and 6 months jail. For failing to render assistance and failing to stop, Low could have been fined up to $1,000 or jailed for up to 3 months on each charge.